Welcome to Lima, Peru once again. Hola, hola, hello, thanks for joining. My name is Vanessa Vasquez. I am your Lima City tour guide. I've been guiding for over 16 years in Lima. I am a licensed official tour guide. If you want to access to my previous events, to all my history lectures, you can do it on Patreon. Patreon is a platform where content creators like me can post all kinds of things that we like to do, like could be history lectures or any other things that we love to do and we love to share with people from all over the world. And for a very small fee, you can access to those events and also help us content creators to continue producing this content. Today we are going to talk about the Inca writing system. Today we're going to talk about different systems used in the pre-Hispanic times for recording information, for calculating also amounts. Most of these systems are not known by the Western world, and they are still in use here in the Andes. So meaning that this information is not gone, is not lost, it still is relevant and of use by the indigenous communities. So they are the ones who are giving us the tools to understand those ancient systems. So we're going to begin with the Kipu. The Kipu is known as the system for record keeping and also communication. This is a Kipu. Let me tell you that during the conquest, many Kipus were destroyed because people didn't really understand their significance. It's a unique and ancient Incan system, but also, and let me do a little sort of like a correction here, it is also pre-Inca. So this ancient pre-Hispanic system for recording information use notes and strings, of course, that were colored differently, right? But of course, there are different patterns, and we're going to understand them today. This is, by the way, so far we know, the oldest Kipu that has ever been found in the country. No? So this Kipu is very old. AC means before Christ or before Common Era. So we're talking about over 2,000 year before Christian era, like Kipu. So it's about 4,000 year old. Kipu. Incredible. And we are lucky, of course, to have something like this that was made from organic material. So basically, the Kipus were a method that was used in a big extent of territory. And, in the pre-Hispanic times, when we are talking, for example, about the Incan Empire, not everybody spoke the same language. Quechua was, or Runasini, as originally that language was known, was one of the many languages that this empire used. And the magic and the amazing thing about these systems is that it doesn't matter which language you use, because these are symbols that can be understood. It doesn't matter the language you speak. So that is really impressive. And by the way, we can see an image or a recreation of a Kipu Kamayok. So who was the Kipu Kamayok? Was the reader of the Kipu, was the one who made the Kipus, who stored the information, like the accountant of the pre-Hispanic times. And he, with his expertise, also made the notes, selected the colors of the strings, the chords, sent this information to another accountant in another province for this person to receive the information using the same system, that was used for making the Kipu, to decode the Kipu and transmit the information. What was the information that was recorded in the Kipus? Well, different kinds of census, and about goods, warriors, how many warriors were prepared in a town, tributes, taxes, right? let's say, inventory of clothing, pottery, wood, right? Like maybe for the dry season, no? So how many corns, how many llamas, how many let's say potatoes, like anything that you had in a community that the Inca, the main authority, needed to know. These quipus were used to send this information and to get on the other end the information accurate and precise of births, deaths, how many widows used to be in the community, or single people, married people, how many people were ill, etc., etc. So you can see here that there are some particularities very interesting. For example, look at the twists in the chords. They are different directions, right? So we are just from the first side, we're seeing that there are differences, noticeable. Combination of colors in one string, or one solid color in another one. And of course, taking consideration there is a very thicker string or chord in the upper part always. That is the part from, let's say, all the chords or the strings, hang, okay? So. And now we're going to the interpretations of quipus. Also, just to clarify, there were at least two different kinds of quipus. We have the numeric quipus, the ones that were only keeping information related with accountability, for example, numbers, quantities, census. And we had historic quipus. Okay, and the historic quipus were more complex, and people could literally read the notes according to the combination of them. So we have three types of notes. The first one here, this is the one that represents the number 1, the number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They are made on notes like this one. You can see, for example, that how many turns we have in this knot, which is the compuesto or composed knot. We have 1, 2, 3, right? Like this one. So according to the turns you have in one of these knots, you will compose a number. And this system was used, this type of knot, until the number 9. Then in the number 10, you will use this one, which is called simple knot, okay? Right? So the bottom was the units, a little bit higher, decenas, which are the tens, hundreds, thousands. If the number you want to represent is 3,643, so what you're going to do, you're going to put, a knot with 3 turns here in the units, because we begin like here. Then we will put another knot with the number 4, because this one is of the tens, right? This one. Then 600, we're going to put a knot with 6 turns, right, in the hundreds. And then in the thousands, one of 3 turns, right? So we have the number, we will read from here from above, 3,643. Okay, so now we're going to continue with the Yupana, the Incan calculator. So the Yupana was used as a way to calculate numbers. We know that we can do like summatories there, we can do multiplications, divisions, like anything that simple mathematics, but of big numbers can be done there, okay? So most likely, the Yupanas were used by the Kipu Kamayoks when they were recording information, data, census. There are different kinds of Yupanas. This one, for example, is known as an archaeologic Yupana. So usually these are very big stones that are carved, that look like little cities, but they are not. It seems that they were used for very, very complex calculations. We don't know how to use them, to be very honest. Archaeologists are not able yet to decode this. This is a drawing from a chronicle made by Guamán Poma de Ayala, circa the year 1619. We see the Kipu Kamayok, right? He is holding a Kipu. And we have this element over here. So what is this? Well, this is a Yupana. Okay, so here you can see the Yupana. And the Yupana has 5 lines and 4 sort of like columns, in which you can see holes that, for example, in this one, the extreme is 1, here 2, 3, and 5. We don't have the number 4, okay? But I promise you can do any calculations. Let's make a summatory of the following numbers, okay? 1,521 plus 3,470 plus 786, okay? So how we're going to be using this. And the bottom section is where the units go, tens, hundreds, thousands, and tens of thousands, okay? So we're going to begin positioning the first number, right? 1,000, right? 521. So the next number will be 3,000, of course, 400, 3 plus 1 is 4, 70, 5 and 2, and nothing down because it's 0. And the other one is 700, so number 2 plus 5, 80, okay, 3 plus 5, and 6, 5 plus 1. But there is a rule also, and the rule is that there cannot be 2 seats in one same space, right? So now we're going to do the calculation. Right, so we will do replacements now. Okay, so in this one, for example, we will be, because we have 2 in the unit of 1, we have replaced it and moved it to the section of 2. In this section, for example, we're going to do replacing. We're making a summatory. We have 4 plus 3, and in the other one, we have 2 in the number 5, so that means there's a 10, and that goes to the next section, right? And because we had 3 plus 4, that means 7. Maybe we put 1 in the 5, and then we put the other one, we leave the other one in the 2, and there we have 7. Okay? So remember our rule, we cannot have 2 seats in one same box. Now we have 2 here, so that means we have 10, right? So 1 goes to the next upper section. We just remove the seats from the box 5, and we have in the box of the unit and the 1, we have 2, so we need to make a summatory. So what is the summatory? 2 plus 2 plus 3 is 7. So now we are going to just replace the seats, 1 in the number 5, and we take the other ones. We just leave the 1 in number 2. So now we have 7, okay? Excelente. So now we have the last section. What we're going to do with the millions. So we have 2 in the section number 1, and the other one represents the number 3. So 2 plus 3 is 5, and we just remove the other seats. So what is the number that has come as a resulting of our summatory? 5,700, 700, 77. So do you think it's going to come like that at the end if we do the traditional classic summatory? Okay, 1 plus 6, 7. And then 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 7, 7, 17. Then we have 6 plus 4, 10, plus 7, 17. And here we have 5. So yes. There is another calculator also. I would like to share it with you. It is called Taptana. And the Taptana is, let's say, like its location of origin is in Ecuador, and it belongs to the Cañari people. So this is how the Taptana looks like. So in this one, we're going to do a multiplication, okay? So you can see once again that Taptana has, in this case, 4 columns, units, tens, hundreds, and thousands, okay? So, and the upper part, the circle up there, represents 0, okay? So how we do the calculation of 3 by 3? 3 times 3. So we're going to put, look at how simple. We have the number 3, and then we just repeat another 3 times, and another 3 times. And we have the number 9. So it's like a little game. So now we're going to do, for example, 23 by 2. So we're putting in the units, we put the number 3, and in the tens, we put the number 2. So what we do, we just replicate what we've done before, right? So we put 3 more seats in the unit and 2 more seats in the tens. And the resulting is 46. What is the Kilkas or Kilkas? Kilka is a term in Quechua and also used in Aymara to refer to rock art, pictograms, petroglyphs, and any kinds of marks in stone, in rocks. No? Kilkas or Kilkas are very old. For long, specialists, archaeologists refer to them as arte rupestre, which means basically like ancient paintings on caves and walls and rocks. No? They probably were important because of their appearance, but more because of the symbolism in them. So these Kilkas or Kelkas were sometimes painted, so as you can see in the first case, in the first image, or they could be petroglyphs, which are like engraved in stone. They could be geoglyphs, hieroglyphs, which usually are quite big. For example, the Nazca lines are geoglyphs. So you can use stone for producing these forms, big scale, or could be other materials, but basically is a stone reaccommodated. What is the Tokapu? The Tokapu, this is also another of my favorite pre-Hispanic systems for recording information, but also is the most mysterious because it's the most complex. Not everybody used Tocapus. And when the conquest happened, there was an annihilation of the knowledge of the elites. And adoctrination also of the nobility who wanted to assimilate into the Spanish society. So this is how the Tocapus look like, fabrics that have these elements, these sort of like squares with designs, with colors, with shapes. This is a complex symbolic writing system. So it's like the hieroglyphics. Each one of these symbols represented something very complex, and all the symbols together, they could, for example, say something about who you were, your name, where you came from, things like that. In the queros, this is a quero, in the queros, we can see this. This element is also similar to the one we've seen before. Well, it looks like an N, right? So look at this, we have some of them. This is inverted, but in the other one we can see also more like the N system. We have stairs, for example. This one is like an N, I think. This one is more similar, right? So look at this. Stairs, also steps. This is Pachacutec Inca. And look at these symbols here. Can you see the symbol? These are Tocapus. So well, now we come to the tricky part, because we don't know how to read the Tocapus. We know they say something. We know they were probably like hieroglyphics that altogether could be able to say a complex phrase, but we don't know exactly what those symbols mean. Just to give an idea of the many approximations different specialists have about each one of the symbols, right? For example, in this section, we have like two different interpretations. Well, they're not so different. They can be alike. For example, over here, it says this symbol means Inca, and the other approximation says this symbol, which is similar to this one, means Tawantinsuyo, Inti Raimi, the Koya. So it could represent authority, okay? This one says Venus, and this other approximation says the morning star, which could be, yes, or the sun and the moon. Okay, well, right. So, and like this, we have lots of different theories, but not one consensus about what is the symbolism behind each one of the symbols in the Tocapus. This one, Pachacamac, the god of the earthquakes, also the earth, right? And this one, Pachacamac, or the beginning, also this little point. So maybe we are little by little trying to find a consensus, but it would be hard. And on the other side, we have other interpretations that I was able to find, just to give you an idea that we know this was a written system, but we don't know how to read it. I hope you found this event interesting, and also that you were able to learn about something new. It is always my pleasure to have you in my events. You can support this event if you wish, and it's in your possibilities on PayPal. My Patreons have the chance of deciding which events I will be producing for you all here on YouTube. Please become my patron if you have the chance. From as little as $2 per month, you can not just become a supporter and also access my gallery of videos. Also, you can have the chance of deciding the upcoming events. For example, for September, we have these events that are going to come also soon. We have the worst earthquakes in Peruvian history. We have the tragic history of the last Incas of Peru. We have also, well, as you know already, the Inca writing, which is the first one of September we're doing, and differences and similarities between Peru and Bolivia. We are going soon to decide the events for October. So that poll is going to be posted on my Patreon. And well, here, thanks so much to my Patreons who are supporting this channel. Muchas gracias, amigos, amigas. Muchas gracias. Thanks for joining. And next week, we're going to have another history session. But also, I will be bringing you some surprises next week. This is the month of my birthday, so anything can happen in the month of my birthday. So prepare for, well, some surprises. Activate the bell, the notification, give me a follow also, and we'll have a lovely rest of the week. See you soon. Best to you all, and well, take care, amigos. Gracias. Lots of love from Lima, Peru to you all around the world. Ciao.